Well, we had breakfast and headed out early, heading down to Ancient Joppa. And Ancient Joppa is really just the southern portion of Tel Aviv. If you take a look at this map here, Tel Aviv is a modern city, and then to the south there you have Ancient Joppa.
There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band, a devout man, and one that feared God with all his house, which gave much alms to the people, and prayed to God alway. He saw in a vision, evidently about the 9th hour of the day, an angel of God coming into him, and saying unto him, Cornelius. And when he looked on him, he was afraid, and said, What is it, Lord? And he said unto him, Thy prayers and thine alms are come up for a memorial before God. And now send men to Joppa, and call for one Simon, whose surname is Peter. He lodgeth with one Simon a tanner, whose house is by the seaside. He shall tell thee what thou oughtest to do. And when the angel which spake unto Cornelius was departed, he called 2 of his household servants, and a devout soldier of them that waited on him continually. And when he had declared all these things unto them, he sent them to Joppa.
And there were plenty of date palms in Joppa, and that's a possible candidate for the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. I refer to that in my video, In the Garden of God. And everywhere you looked, things were older than the United States. You know, you'd have people saying, oh, this wall here is 500 years old. It was just amazing. You're surrounded by old stuff. And here's the group getting ready to walk the streets of Joppa. And you'll notice behind us, that's a pomegranate tree. And the typical pomegranate has 613 seeds. Just like there's 613 laws in Mosaic law. And here's one of our tour guides, Susan, explaining how there's layer upon layer of history in the city. And here we're at a hilltop monument right in the middle of Ancient Joppa. And Susan's explaining some features of this sculpture. And basically on the left you have Abraham holding up Isaac, and then the ram God supplied to him. And on the right you have Jacob wrestling with the angel. And above you have men carrying shofars that represents the march around Jericho. And this is a picture looking off to the north, and you can see downtown Tel Aviv there. And then to my left from there, looking west, we see this old chapel, and it marks the approximate spot where the home of Simon the tanner was.
On the morrow, as they went on their journey and drew nigh unto the city, Peter went up upon the housetop to pray about the 6th hour. And he became very hungry and would have eaten. But while they made ready, he fell into a trance, and saw heaven opened, and a certain vessel descending unto him, as it had been a great sheet, knit at the 4 corners, and let down to the earth, wherein were all manner of 4-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air. And there came a voice to him, Rise, Peter, kill and eat. But Peter said, Not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean. And the voice spake unto him again the 2nd time, What God hath cleansed, that call not thou common. This was done thrice, and the vessel was received up again into heaven. Now, while Peter doubted in himself what this vision which he had seen should mean, behold, the men which were sent from Cornelius had made inquiry for Simon's house, and stood before the gate, and called, and asked whether Simon, which was surnamed Peter, were lodged there. While Peter thought on the vision, the Spirit said unto him, Behold, 3 men seek thee. Arise therefore, and get thee down, and go with them, doubting nothing, for I have sent them.
So this is the approximate location of those events there.
And also, just prior to this in Acts 9 is when Peter raises Dorcas. I think that was more when he first came to town, but he ended up staying here with Simon the tanner. Simon's house would have been right in this area.
And looking off to the right, you can see the Mediterranean Sea. And just a little north of us then, modern Tel Aviv. From here we headed toward Independence Hall. And it was here in this room that Israel declared her independence in 1948.
ביום שישי, ה' באייר תש"ח, 14 במאי 1948, אחר הצהריים, באו המוזמנים אל בניין מוזיאון תל אביב בשדרות רוטשילד 16. הם התבקשו לשמור את סיבת ההזמנה, טקס הכרזת העצמאות, בסוד. אבל בבואם מצאו את חצי העיר ממתינה להם. סמוך לשעה 4 הגיע דוד בן גוריון. כל חייו היו מסע אל הרגע הזה.
זוהי זכותו הטבעית של העם היהודי, להיות ככל עם ועם עומד ברשות עצמו במדינתו הריבונית, אשר תפתח לרווחה את שערי המולדת לכל יהודי, ותעניק לעם היהודי מעמד של אומה שוות זכויות בתוך העמים. לפיכך נתכנסנו, אנו חברי מועצת העם, נציגי היישוב העברי והתנועה הציונית, ביום סיום המנדט הבריטי על ארץ ישראל. מתוקף זכותנו הטבעית וההיסטורית, ועל יסוד החלטת עצרת האומות המאוחדות, אנו מכריזים בזאת על הקמת מדינה יהודית בארץ ישראל, היא מדינת ישראל. מתוך ביטחון בצור ישראל, הננו חותמים בחתימת ידינו לעדות על הכרזה זו.
That took place right here. And what an event that was. For hundreds of years, premillennialists have said that in order for end-time events to come about, there has to be a nation of Israel in existence. prophecy speaks of all these events unfolding right there in Israel and Jerusalem, surrounding the temple and so forth. So we knew that a nation of Israel would have to come back into existence in order for these things to happen. And we were laughed at for this belief by the covenant amillennialists. But what do they think today? Apparently their sovereign God set up a fake Israel right toward the end of their spirit kingdom just to confuse everybody. I guess that's how they look at it. Back on earth, where the Bible means what it says, though, we know exactly what to make of it. So now, all that remains is the revival of this Roman Empire, and then the final things can unfold. In the meantime, the rapture of the church could occur at any moment.